You know that kind of feeling. When everything goes quiet, but the quiet doesn't feel empty. It feels gentle, almost like a soft hand resting on your shoulder. And for whatever reason, you found yourself walking. No purpose, no plan, no destination. Just a quiet wish inside you to move forward, to let the day loosen its grip on you. The earth beneath your feet made the softest little crunches, but even those sounds felt polite, as if the forest was whispering, "It's all right. I'll walk with you." The longer you walked, the lighter you felt. Your thoughts were still there, floating around in the corners of your mind, but they didn't sting anymore. They were just passing by. And for the first time today, your breath slipped a little deeper into your chest. Then you heard something, very faint, barely there. Not wind, not water, not an animal. It sounded like a gentle breath. Curious, you followed the sound. The trees parted just enough to make a small opening, and through that opening, you saw it, a river, but not like any river you'd ever seen before. The water glowed softly, as if the moon had melted into it. Silver and pale blue glimmers drifted across the surface, floating like tiny, sleepy stars. As you stepped closer, the sound finally made sense. The river was whispering, not with words, but with a tone, a feeling, a soft rhythm that wrapped around your mind. Like a warm blanket, you crouched beside the edge, and the river's whisper brushed right through you. Welcome. It wasn't a voice, yet you felt it so clearly that your shoulders dropped without you noticing. Your jaw loosened, your breath deepened. The river felt like a friend you didn't know you missed. You reached out, letting your fingers hover above the surface. A tiny glowing droplet drifted towards you, teasing the tips of your fingers with a little shimmer, before dissolving back into the water. And something inside you softened. A knot you didn't even know you'd been holding. Let go just a little, the river whispered again, its voice even gentler now. Slow, you're safe. A quiet glow formed on the surface, a narrow line of moonlight stretching forward. A path, a gentle one, a peaceful one. It didn't push, it didn't demand. It simply invited you. Come, if you'd like. So you followed it. With every step, the world seemed to adjust itself around you, as if nature wanted you to feel held, supported. Your feet sank into soft earth. Your breath matched the hush of the water beside you. Your thoughts drifted like feathers. A little farther ahead, the river widened into a still, glassy pool. The water was so calm that the moon looked like it had settled down for a nap on top of it. You sat by the pool, letting the quiet soak into you. The ground was warm, almost comforting. Then right in the center of the water, a little spiral of light appeared, slow, steady, curling upward like a dream waking from sleep. It drifted towards you, gentle as a sigh, and hovered right above your chest. A soft warmth bloomed inside you. Not overwhelming, not dramatic, just enough to make you feel like your heart had unclenched, like something inside you had finally said, "Oh, here, I can rest here." The river felt that shift. Its whisper changed. It became almost affectionate. "Good. Just breathe." You closed your eyes for a moment. When you opened them again, something new was happening. A shape rose from the center of the pool. Not a creature, not a person, but a presence made of flowing shadow and moonlight. It wasn't scary. Not at all. It felt like stepping into a memory you didn't know you had. The shape didn't speak, but somehow it said everything. "I understand." Just those two words, not spoken, but felt. And with that understanding, a second knot loosened inside you. The shape faded gently back into the water, leaving the surface still and peaceful. A soft breeze drifted past, but not from the sky. It came from the river, warm, soft, like the river exhaling right over your skin. It touched your cheeks, your forehead, your shoulders, and each place it touched relaxed just a little more. Not because a sudden burst of energy hit you, but because your body was wrapped in such a gentle warmth. That moving simply felt easy, natural, effortless. The river curved away, but the path continued forward, into a forest filled with tiny glowing flowers. They looked like nightlights, small and delicate, each one glowing softly from within. When you touched one, it brightened, just for you, and for a moment you felt seen, completely, quietly, kindly. The forest pulled you deeper in. The air grew even softer. A light mist curled gently around your ankles, warm, velvety, calming. Through the haze, a soft cluster of light approached. Not a creature, not a ghost, just a warm presence. It lingered beside your shoulder and let a tiny flicker of light rest on you. Your muscles melted. Your breath fluttered for a second. Then everything inside you settled. The path ahead of you shimmered faintly, almost as if the night itself was taking your hand. And you followed. You followed because it felt right, because it felt safe, because every step made your body a little heavier, a little warmer, a little closer to peace. And the river, though now somewhere behind you, still whispered softly in the back of your mind, "I'm here. Keep going. There's more rest ahead." The path led you forward, and you followed without hurry. Not because you had somewhere to be, but because the night felt like a quiet friend walking beside you. The glow from the flowers softened behind you, but the warmth they left in your chest lingered. It felt like someone had placed a small lantern inside your heart, one that finally lit up all the corners you'd kept dim for too long. As you walked, the trees around you grew taller, their branches stretching gracefully overhead. They didn't feel imposing. If anything, they felt protective, bending just enough to hold the moonlight and let it spill onto your path in gentle patches. The air here was different too. A little thicker, a little sweeter, as though the forest had soaked in centuries of quiet and was now sharing it with you. You took a slow breath. It tasted like cool water and old stories, the kind of breath that fills you not with thoughts, but with calm. Ahead, a soft shimmer appeared, barely visible at first, then growing brighter as you approached. It was the river again. But here, it looked even more magical. The water didn't rush. It didn't swirl. It simply rested, spread wide and peaceful, in a perfectly round basin. A circle, a quiet, sacred circle of water that looked untouched by anything noisy or heavy or hurried. Right in the center, a single deep blue stone rose from the water. It was smooth, solid, as if it had been waiting there. Long before you ever took your first step tonight, you found yourself walking toward it. Before you even thought about it, there was something comforting about the stone, as though it held a warmth you'd been searching for without knowing. A narrow bridge of light, yes, actual light, formed over the surface of the water. It wasn't bright or blinding, just enough to guide your feet. You stepped onto it, and it held you perfectly. No wobble, no uncertainty, just support. When you reached the stone, you placed your hand on it. The warmth that pulsed through your palm was instant and familiar. Dash. Not like touching something heated, but like someone gently holding your hand and saying, "I've got you." The stone hummed softly beneath your skin, a quiet vibration, a peaceful one, almost like a heartbeat. And then you heard it. Not with your ears, but somewhere deep in your chest. Let it go. The words, or whatever they were, dash, didn't demand anything. They simply invited you to loosen the last bit of weight you'd brought with you. And you did. Your shoulders lowered, your jaw released. Even the tiny muscles around your eyes softened without effort. The stone's warmth spread from your hand to your arm, across your chest, and down your spine. You took a deep breath, one of those breaths that somehow fills your whole body with something gentle. When you exhaled, it felt like the kind of release that usually only happens after a long cry, or a long hug, or a long overdue rest. The stone glowed just for a moment, as if responding to you. Then the glow slowly faded, but the warmth remained, right where you needed it. A quiet ripple moved across the surface of the water, not from wind, not from movement, but from something awakening beneath the surface. You watched as a soft shadow rose slowly upward, taking shape only in the most delicate way, a flowing form of moonlight and memory. It drifted closer, paused right in front of you, and wrapped the space around you in an indescribable calm. Still no words, still no voice, but a feeling I understand. You didn't know how, but you felt understood, seen without explaining, held without asking. The shadow lowered back into the water with the same gentle grace it had risen. The water became still again. The night settled around you like a warm blanket. Then, a very soft breeze brushed behind your ear. But this breeze didn't come from the trees. It came from the river itself, warm, steady. Like a slow exhale, it wrapped around your shoulders and drifted down the length of your back, loosening muscles you hadn't even realized were tense. You closed your eyes just for a moment, letting that small wave of relief settle into you. When you opened them again, the bridge of light had shifted. It now pointed toward a gentle pathway, leading deeper into the forest. The path glowed faintly, inviting but never pushing. So you followed. The ground felt even softer now, like the forest floor had been padded, just for your tired steps. The air hummed softly, almost like a lullaby, being played on invisible strings. Then something magical happened. Tiny motes of light, like floating dust particles made from starlight, appeared around you. They drifted slowly, never rushing, casting warm, sleepy halos onto your hands and your arms and the ground beneath your feet. One of them settled gently, right on your shoulder, a warm weight, so small yet somehow so comforting, rested there. You lifted your hand to touch it, but before you could, it brightened slightly and scattered softly into the air, like a little sigh of light. You felt lighter, calmer, more ready to rest than you had been in a very long time. The path ahead dipped slightly downward and through the trees. You could see the river again. Even from a distance, it whispered your name. Not literally, but in the feeling it stirred inside you. A promise. I'm still here. Come a little further. And so you went quietly, peacefully, letting the night carry you a little deeper into its gentle, glowing heart. The path guided you back toward the river, but now the water looked different, a little darker, a little slower, as if it had settled into a deep, thoughtful silence. It didn't feel distant. It felt grounding, like the river was choosing its words carefully before sharing something important. You stepped closer, and the soft glow along the water's surface followed your movements like a loyal companion. The river wasn't just beside you anymore. It was with you, paying attention to every breath you took. As you walked, the trees thinned out and the path gently opened into a wide valley. The moment you stepped into it, the air changed. The valley felt alive, Not with noise, but with something softer. A hum that wasn't quite wind and not quite silence. It was something in between. You stood still for a moment, letting the feeling settle around you. It reminded you of the way a warm room feels after you've just come in from the cold. A slow, melting relief. Then you heard it, not from a direction, but from everywhere. A gentle collection of soft voices, like faint memories drifting through the air. They didn't speak words, not English, not anything human. Yet you understood them perfectly. They said things like, "It's okay. You've done enough today. You can rest. You're allowed to be tired." Each whisper floated by, touching you lightly, before fading into the valley's wide open space. You took another step, and the whispers swayed around you, like a field of tall grass moving with your movement. The valley wasn't trying to teach you anything. It wasn't asking anything of you. It simply wanted you to feel safe, the way a familiar hug feels. After a long day, you walked a little further and found a small rise in the ground, a gentle hill covered with soft, cool moss. Without thinking much, you sat down. The moss welcomed your weight adjusting beneath you, like it knew exactly how to hold you, without any pressure. You closed your eyes and listened. Some whispers were deep and slow, like old lullabies. Some were light and airy, like the sound of leaves falling in autumn. Some were almost laughter, but in the quietest way possible. A laughter that didn't need noise. To feel warm, your shoulders softened further. Your breath fell into a slower rhythm, matching the soft murmurs floating all around you. After a moment, you felt something brief, a touch of warmth brushing the top of your hand. You opened your eyes gently to see a tiny glowing shape hovering beside you. It looked like a little orb of light, round, floating effortlessly, giving off a cozy warmth, like a candle sheltered by cupped hands. The little orb circled you once, then hovered close to your chest, as if trying to check on your heart. You felt it dash dash, a quiet, curious kindness, and then just as softly as it had appeared, the orb drifted upward and dissolved into the air, like a fading whisper. You let out a slow breath, not because you meant to, but because your body finally felt safe enough to release it. The valley whispered again, a gentle chorus this time. Go on, there's more peace waiting. You stood up slowly, your body warm and lighter than before. The path ahead shimmered faintly, a simple, glowing suggestion of where to go next. You followed it, your steps unhurried, your breath deep and slow, and the valley watched you leave with a kind of soft pride, as if saying, "You're doing beautifully." The river's glow returned to your side, a moment later, welcoming you back, as if you'd only stepped away for a heartbeat. Its whisper brushed lightly over the water. Ready for the next part? and with a warm heaviness in your eyelids, a calmer heart, and a body softened by the night, you continued forward deeper into the world that was slowly teaching you how to rest. The river followed you quietly as you left the valley, its soft glow gliding beside you like a warm companion. You could hear the gentle swirl of the water again, steady, rhythmic, almost like breathing. The path curved gently, leading you into a part of the forest where the air felt warmer, like it carried the memory of a cozy fire. And then you saw it. A soft violet light flickered between the trees ahead. Not bright, not sharp, a slow, pulsing glow that rose and fell like someone sleeping peacefully. You stepped closer and the glow revealed itself. In a small clearing, a tiny fire burned, but not a fire made of flame and wood. This one moved in soft waves, like liquid light. Its colors were deep violet, soft blue, and hints of glowing silver. The flames didn't crackle. They didn't roar. They whispered, just like the river, floating around the fire, were small round creatures of light, glowing softly, darting slowly through the air, like little planets drifting in their own gentle orbit. They looked curious, welcoming, completely harmless. As you stepped into the clearing, the little glowing beings drifted towards you. Not too close, not overwhelming, just enough to let you know they were glad you came. One hovered right in front of you, its glow warming your face in the softest way imaginable. It circled slowly, almost as if studying your breath, and then brushed a faint shimmer of light against your chest. A warmth spread through you, soft, comforting, like someone placing a warm hand right over your heart. Your shoulders dropped another inch. Your breath deepened again. Your eyelids felt heavier. Not tired heavy, but peaceful heavy. You sat down near the fire and the ground beneath you felt unbelievably soft, like moss that had been warming in the moonlight. Just for you, the fire's slow waves rose and fell in a soothing rhythm. Up, down, up, down. It matched your breath without even trying. One of the glowing beings landed lightly beside your hand. You felt its warmth through the air, a tiny, gentle pulse that seemed to sync with your heartbeat. It wasn't asking you anything. It wasn't telling you anything. It was simply being with you. The fire shifted suddenly, just a small change in its pattern, and a shape formed in the flames. Not clear, not detailed, just a quiet, glowing symbol. That felt like a greeting, a welcome, a reassurance. A soft, steady, you're on the right path. The little glowing creature brightened, as if agreeing. You watched the symbol fade, the flames settling back into their slow, sleepy rhythm. For a long moment you stayed there, eyes half-lidded, heart warm, mind soft and quiet. You didn't think. You didn't need to. You just breathed. With the fire, with the river, with the night. Eventually, the glowing creatures drifted upward in a slow spiral, as if gently urging you to rise again. When you stood, they formed a small, glowing arc, leading you toward the edge of the clearing. Their light dimmed softly, their version of a smile, as you stepped past them. The fire pulsed one last time, sending a warm goodbye across your back, like a gentle hand. And when you returned to the path, the river's whisper waited for you. Calm, patient, inviting. Come, it murmured, there's still more to see. And with the warmth of the fire still glowing inside your chest, you walked deeper into the night, ready for whatever peaceful wonder was waiting next. The path grew a little wider as you walked, and the river stayed beside you. Always close, always soft, like a friend who didn't want to interrupt your thoughts, but didn't want to leave your side either. The trees slowly opened up, their tall silhouettes giving way to a gentle slope bathed in moonlight. And there, rising quietly in the distance, stood Moon Mountain. It wasn't tall and intimidating. It wasn't jagged or harsh. It looked more like a calm wave of earth, holding the moon in its arms. A thin silver mist curled around its base, not hiding anything, just breathing slowly as if the mountain itself were alive in the softest possible way. As you approached, you noticed something beneath a large ancient tree, rooted firmly at the foot of the mountain. A figure, sitting completely still, waiting, but not impatiently. They weren't quite human, not quite spirit, something in between. Or perhaps something entirely beyond labels. But the moment you saw them, you felt no fear, only warmth, a calm recognition, like meeting someone whose presence your heart remembered. Even if your mind couldn't, you stepped closer and the figure lifted their head. Their face carried a gentle wisdom. Soft eyes, a calm smile that felt like a whole conversation. Without a single word, they nodded slowly, inviting you to sit. So you did. The earth beneath you felt warm, as if the mountain had been saving that warmth. Just for this moment, just for you. For a long while, neither of you spoke. There was no need. The silence wasn't empty. It was full, like a cup brimming with peace. Finally, with a voice as calm as moonlight on still water, the sage spoke. If your path has brought you here tonight, then you must be ready to set something down. Their words didn't press into you. They simply settled softly, like feathers falling onto your shoulders. You weren't even sure what you were holding or what you were supposed to set down, but the moment they said it, you felt something inside you shift. Something small, something quiet, something you'd been carrying for longer than you realized. Take a breath, the sage whispered. So you did. slow, deep, gentle, and let it go. Your exhale left your body, warm and melting as if it carried away things you never had the chance to release before. The sage closed their eyes. You followed without thinking. Time softened around you. The night grew thicker, but in a comforting way, like wrapping a heavy blanket around yourself and sinking into it. The sage spoke again, their voice a thread of soft certainty. You're ready now. The summit is waiting for you. You opened your eyes. The sage smiled at their expression, full of the quiet pride that comes from watching someone grow lighter. You stood up slowly, feeling the warmth of the earth still holding you for a moment before letting you go. And as you turned toward the mountain, the sage whispered one last time, "You don't climb alone." You looked back at the river, still glowing, still whispering in its gentle way, and with a peaceful heaviness in your chest, the kind that makes you feel safe enough to keep moving forward. You began your climb up Moon Mountain. You took your first steps, and the mountain welcomed you effortlessly. The ground wasn't steep or difficult. It rose beneath your feet, like it wanted to help you reach the top without strain. The higher you climbed, the more the sky opened around you. Stars gathered closer, leaning in like old friends, wanting to hear what you might say next. The air grew cooler, but it felt refreshing, like taking a sip of cold water after a long day. Your breath matched your steps. Each inhale lifted you a little. Each exhale grounded you again. The world below faded into a gentle blur, not gone, just quiet. And then, at the summit you arrived, the world fell silent. A vast horizon of stars stretched out around you in every direction, closer than you'd ever seen them, brighter, kinder. The river's glow reached the mountaintop too, curling around your feet like a soft ribbon of silver light. You stood still, breathing in the quiet. As the night wrapped itself around you like a warm embrace. And then a shimmer, a soft gathering of light right in front of you. It formed slowly, not rushed, not sharp. A doorway made entirely of gentle glow, not to trap you, not to overwhelm you, to welcome you, to hold you, to let you rest. You stepped closer and the stars whispered, not in words you could repeat, but in feelings. You've come far enough. You're safe here. You may rest now. The glow embraced your shoulders, like warm hands, guiding you into a world made only of softness. You took one more step, then another, and the doorway folded around you like warm velvet, lifting the final remnants of weight from your mind, your body, your heart. And there, within the gentle light, you felt the night settle into you in the most peaceful way, not sleep yet, but the quiet just before sleep. The moment when the world finally whispers, "It's okay, you can let go now." The soft glow of the doorway wrapped around you, like a warm blanket being pulled over your shoulders. Everything inside the light moved slowly, not floating, not falling, just drifting, in the most peaceful way. The sound of the world outside faded, but not all at once. It softened gradually, like someone turning down the volume on a long, tiring day. The river's whisper followed you inside, calm, warm, familiar. "I'm here," it murmured. "Just breathe." So you did, and your breath slowed and slowed and slowed again. You felt the light beneath your feet, gentle and warm. Not a flaw, but something soft that held you exactly where you needed to be. Ahead of you, the glow deepened into a warm duskiness. Not dark, just dim enough to invite rest. Tiny motes of silver drifted lazily in the air, dancing like dust caught in a beam of morning sunlight. They moved in slow spirals, each one shimmering, as if carrying a small piece of peace. Towards you, you continued forward, not rushed, not pushed. You simply moved, the way someone moves when the world is finally soft enough to let them be. After a few quiet steps, you found yourself in a wide, open chamber of light, a place where everything glowed gently, as if lit from within. The air here felt warm on your skin and cool in your lungs, that perfect in-between that makes your body loosen without you trying. A gentle sound rose in the chamber, a deeper echo of the river's whisper, steady and soothing. It wasn't a song, yet it carried melody. It wasn't a voice, yet it carried comfort. It flowed through you like a soft tide, washing over your thoughts until they were barely whispers themselves. In this place, nothing asked anything of you, nothing expected, nothing pressed. The light, the warmth, the quiet breath of the river, they all simply held you. Your shoulders softened, your chest opened, your hands relaxed at your sides. The weight you'd been carrying, the weight you never had the time to name, slipped away, like mist disappearing from warm air. A soft platform formed behind you, gentle as cloud, inviting you to sit. So you did. And the moment you rested, the chamber responded. A tender glow rose around you, not bright, just enough to make everything feel close, safe, quiet. Your breath deepened again. In, a little slower. Out, even slower. The whispering sound of the river, curling through the air, matched your breathing perfectly. Shh, shh. The glow around you dimmed slightly, as if the entire chamber was settling down with you. The river spoke again, not in words, but in a warmth that wrapped itself right around your heart. You're safe now. Everything can rest. The light dimmed a little further. Your eyelids grew heavier, not from exhaustion, but from comfort, from knowing that here in this soft cradle of light, Nothing could rush you, nothing could reach you, nothing could pull you back into noise. You lay back slowly, the surface beneath you adjusting perfectly to your shape, holding every part of you with gentle care. The chamber darkened just a little more. The stars outside the doorway twinkled faintly like they were watching over you. With a warm, quiet patience, the river's whisper came one last time. A lullaby made entirely of calm. Rest now. Let go. Breathe. Drift. And the glow around you pulsed in a slow, steady rhythm. The rhythm of deep rest. The rhythm of soft dreams. The rhythm of a night finally ready to hold you. Nothing else needed to happen. Nothing else needed to be said. You were safe. You were warm. You were held. And the world, for the first time in a very long time, was quiet enough to let you rest as deeply as you needed.